annual cricket presentation evening for Mount Cricket. I see many regular faces tonight who have been supporting this team over many, many years. Welcome to you all. As every one of you will know, whenever we start an event of this nature or any nature within the Muslim community, we always do so with a short recitation from the Holy Quran. So I'm going to ask Qari Zakaria Basir, one of 5, I've been told, Hafiz al-Quran. Hafiz al-Quran, for those who don't know, means that these people have actually learnt the Quran and memorized it so they can read it untold anytime they wish. So there are 5 of these young men who are part of the Mount cricket team. And I don't think there's any other cricket team in this country of Muslim origin that will probably boast this number of people. So can I ask Qari Zakaria Basir to come here and lead us with a short recitation and prayer from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وسيق الذين كفروا إلى جهنم زمرا حتى إذا جاءوها فتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم رسل منكم يتلون عليكم آيات ربكم وينذرونكم لقاء يومكم هذا قالوا بلى ولكن حقت كلمة العذاب على الكافرين قيل ادخلوا أبواب جهنم خالدين فيها فبئس مثوى المتكبرين وسيق الذين اتقوا ربهم إلى الجنة زمرا حتى إذا جاءوها وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء فنعم أجر العاملين وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق رب العالمين صلى الله العظيم.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Thank you very much. It's young people like this who make us very proud of being Muslims, who are shining examples of Muslims living in this country who contribute. Quite a few of them are professionals working in number of institutions, teaching legal, medical, etc. Can I first of all remind everybody, as Aziz Bhai has just reminded me, that can we ask everybody to switch off their mobile phones or put them on silence? I will not repeat what I normally say, but I will today because there are a number of new people in this audience. If your mobile phone rings while the proceedings are taking place, I have a roving mic. I will come down to you, ask you to answer the phone. If it happens to be your girlfriend, God help you. If it happens to be your wife, then you're fine. Can I introduce myself, Mike Balbana, and I'm deeply honored and proud to be here tonight to be part of these celebrations, the 38th annual presentation evening. And we have an illustrious line of guests here who are going to be sharing their thoughts about cricket. as well as a fantastic array of trophies that he has won over this year. Before I go ahead further, can I just remind you, you probably see and wonder what this is. Well, let me tell you that this is Mr. Al-Mubarak. Most people in this town and this country, and probably indeed in parts of the world beyond the UK, have heard of him. He runs a live streaming service, a radio, etc. And he is today streaming this event live across the world. So I'm not sure whether our friends around the world can see us, but there are people in the Saudi Cricket Board, the Medina Cricket Board, Brother Jeet from India, from Pando CC, and Brother Saleh from Panama, and his colleagues who are watching this event at this very moment in time. So can I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to them, and welcome to the 38th presentation of the Mount Cricket Club. Before I proceed further, can I ask Mr. Mount, and those of you who don't know him, you've probably been living in another country somewhere. Mr. Mount is the man who is responsible in the early days, 38 years ago, with a few friends who started this institution, which has now become a fabric of this community. Mr. Hanif Bhai Mayat, who is the chair of Mount Cricket Club, to say a formal welcome. Hanif Bhai.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Peace and good to our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Mark Arthur, the Chief Executive of Yorkshire Cricket Club, and his dear wife. Sir, you are most welcome. Also, it indeed gives me great pleasure, probably for the last time, to welcome our long-standing MP for over 20 years, Mr. Mike Wood. Mike, once again, thank you very much for your attendance. And hopefully, the person who shall be representing Battalion Spen after the May election, when she hopefully will become our MP, Joe Cox there. Joe, welcome to our first presentation evening for yourself. You're most welcome. And again, here we got our dear old friend, Mr. John Fletcher from Leisure Services. John, thanks for coming. You're most welcome. And also, may I thank each and every one of you for attending this 38th annual presentation evening of Mount Cricket Club. No doubt many of you remember 12 months ago, I was all over the place with my emotion. That was due to the first presentation evening since my beloved passed away. 12 months has passed, but the pain doesn't get any easier or softer. But then, we were 4 months ago, we were dealt a severe blow in that we lost one of the founder members and a wonderful, wonderful gentleman in Mr. Farid Karolia. Those who knew Farid will remember him, will always remember him like I do, with great fondness, and the legacy and the memory that he has left behind. He has joined upstairs to meet his wife and his creator. We must not forget the contribution that has been made by few people who are not here. And I must mention them like I do every year. I must mention Musa Bhai Kayat, also Mariam Bhai Karolia, Padma Bhai Karolia, Farid Bakoli again, yeah, my wife, Yasmin, and many brothers and sisters who have passed away, who have supported Mount Cricket Club over the last 30 years. Only today, 4 hours ago, we buried one of our stout supporter, Mr. Muhammad Bhai Lunat, which would probably explain that there are some brothers who are unable to make this function. So if any brothers are downstairs, can you please come up and fill some of the seats upstairs, because there are some seats upstairs. I won't keep you long because we have got a long list of speakers coming and we need to finish by around 9 o'clock. But I'm very pleased and honored that the club, through your generous support, has gone from strength to strength. And I have excellent generals, the management committee, who runs this club very efficiently. This year, alhamdulillah, we are embarking on some very ambitious project, which I'm sure Sadiq, our development officer, will touch upon later on the proceedings. We are delighted that this year we shall be introducing girls cricket, and we have formed a women group, as you can see at the front, mashallah, and they will be hopefully developing cricket for the girls. Last year in June, we had an open day for the disabled children. We were very surprised, extremely surprised, but with great delight, we had over 50 disabled children coming onto the ground. And when they left, they smiled, said it all. Also, with these two ambitious projects, we shall be embarking on Duke of Edinburgh Award, and we'll be coupling with the Scout movement as well as Buckley High School. So we'd like you as a parent to support us in, as you have always done, in sending your boys and girls to the club. I give you the full assurance that they will be extremely well taken care of. I think I'll must leave it here because I'm aware that there will be a lot of people who will be making a lot of speeches, and I don't want to delay any further. Only to say that I am very delighted to see you all, and thank you so much on this horrible evening for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Can I say, I echo every word you say about Farid Bhai and others that we have sadly lost in between last year and this year. Farid Bhai, as everyone will know, no cricket event could be a proper cricket event without Farid's intervention and sharing some of his thoughts, his jokes. He used to make us laugh, used to make us cry, and may Allah now shine his brightest light upon him. Today's theme for this event is, as Hanif just mentioned, is around disability. I think we have been quite slow in trying to engage or take some proactive steps to encourage more work with young disabled people. I think this is a brave step that Mount will take as much as we can. The theme, apart from disability, is also, as you can understand, a club like this needs to have sufficient support and funding in order to carry on the fantastic piece of work that they do. Last year, I made a special plea from everyone here to try and dig deep into their pockets and contribute as much as they could so this cricket club could not only just function, but could grow. MashaAllah, by the grace of Allah, I've been told that we raised an extra £1,000 last year compared to the previous year. And I'm hoping, inshallah, today you will continue to dig deep into your pockets and also contribute as much as you can so that there are issues around disability, women's engagement in cricket, etc., can be taken further. Can I also pay tribute to Mini Travel, as you can see here. Mini Travel, as you know, is Nisa Bangali, sat somewhere in the middle, doesn't want the limelight, is a family-run business, and everything that you see today, not just on the table, but on the backs of the teams as well, those who are wearing the jackets, the uniforms, etc., everything is sponsored by Nisa. So big round of applause to him. And I would say to every business person here, whichever color, creed, religion you may be, let him be an example to you, so more of you can contribute to the work that these people are doing, taking our youngsters off the street, giving them something, some tangible work, something that they can really get into and engage in the sport of cricket. Before I go on, there's a question. There was one a couple of years ago. No Googling, please, this time. Who has scored over 20,000 runs in top-class cricket and taken over 500 wickets? Whoever gets the answer at the end, that's our Khan extra money. So can I ask that question? I'm sure there's lots of experts here. I've got one piece of good news. Sorry, Adam is not here today. So be pleased with that. But he sends his best wishes. Before I go ahead, we have one apology from a very illustrious person, the Chief Executive and Secretary of MCC, Mr. D.M. Brewer, who was expecting to be here, but unfortunately, due to another commitment that came along, is not able to join us. He has sent a fantastic piece of letter saying he is deeply regrets that he cannot be with us today. He has heard about Mount Cricket, he has heard about some of the work that they're doing, and he would love to have been here today, but he hopes that sometimes in the next season, he'll be coming up to witness for himself some of the work that is already taking place, some of the new work around disability and women's cricket. And like Mark, he says, I share his passion for developing cricket in the young community of ours, and he would like to come and see us, and he wishes us all the best for tonight. And now I'm going to ask our next speaker, and he's Muhammad Patel, Sadiq Patel. And it's the first time, as I've said, I've seen him without his bow tie. That Muhammad Sadiq Patel is this Muhammad Patel? Sorry. This is the problem when you have common names, isn't it? So I'm the only Iqbal Bana, so you can't confuse me with anybody. Muhammad is going to come and talk to us and share with us some of the development work that has been going on around disability sports. Muhammad.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to start off today with this quote from Mary Kay Ash. Aerodynamically, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know that, and it still continues to fly anyways. In 2012, the Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games took place in London, and it left a legacy in the sporting world as well as sports within the UK. In the sports section, a very similar quote can be summarized as continuing elite success, development of more sports facilities, and encouraging participation in schools, sports, and wider. In 1976, a few youngsters got together with bowls and buckets and went collect door to door to open a cricket club. Why did they do this? Correct me if I'm wrong, Hanifa, but to increase participation in the sport of cricket. All three of these snippets are very common. They show an involvement in sport and other activities, but without any barriers, without anyone stopping them. If a person does not fit your ideal role model of a cricketer or the ideal sports person, then for them to still continue to play cricket. Due to this, in 2014, by the grace of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Mount Cricket Club embarked on a journey to continue this legacy. A journey that has brought smiles and tears upon some of the more senior members of the club. And we open cricket up to children with disabilities. On the 22nd of June, we held an open day where over 50 children attended. These children were not just, some came from the other side of Huddersfield, or one or two even from Leeds and Bradford. This day we realized the extent of the gap within sports within our community, And we, as Mount Cricket Club, needed to fulfill this gap within the children, for these children. Our coaches and volunteers on that day did an absolutely fantastic job. It's not easy to work with children with disabilities for the first time and to teach them cricket. Luckily, I've been doing it for a long time, but some of these people was the first time they met a child with a disability. And never have I seen so many people pull together and with their full hearts ensure that every child that attended that day left with a smile. And for this, I would like everyone present today to put your hands together in thanking these people with a round of applause. Little did we know how many doors and opportunities we opened that day. We took a small step for us, but a huge leap within this field. Due to this, we got invited to the Flame event, which is one of Kirklees' flagship events for children with disabilities. We managed to take cricket, strip it back to its basic, and so that everyone could participate. Whether you had a disability or not, it did not matter. If you wanted to throw a ball, to pick up a bat, or just scream, "How's that?" no one was going to stop you, and there were going to be no barriers in your way. Further to this, we managed to hold 4 weeks of cricketing sessions for children with disabilities. Any child could attend, whether they wanted for 30 minutes or for 2 hours. They just had to come and enjoy playing cricket. I mentioned these activities because it shows the need for multiple projects like the ones that we've started. It's our duty as human beings to address this need. So I will ask you all for your support for the projects that I am doing and for other similar projects in bridging the gap that has created, and to continue supporting projects like these in the future. I'd like to now read, I asked originally for a parent to come up and give a speech, but unfortunately, due to the conditions and the child being ill, they haven't been able to attend. But they have given me a small paragraph to read out. So my son is a 14-year-old and is autistic. He has learning difficulties but enjoys watching sports. Since last year, he has taken time off work to spend more time with his son. He started off by sitting at home and going for walks and watching TV. However, it became very, very repetitive. He started going to cricket sessions with his son in the summer, in the open day. However, for him, it was very hard to play cricket with him, as he didn't know what to do. Having sessions where I can play with my son has increased my relationships with him. Also, his behavior has changed. He has become much calmer and started to talk to new people. He has opened up, something we haven't seen in a very long time. More importantly, it has made me and my wife happier, seeing my son enjoy the sport as well as a relationship with him. After seeing him play with other children who don't have a disability, brought smiles to our face. It is hard to understand what is going through my child's mind. However, when he plays the sport, we see him smile. And that smile makes us forget our worries. And we'd like to say thank you for these opportunities. I pray that more of these opportunities open up and that people are active in looking for them. I think the community should actively encourage people to send their brothers, sisters, sons, daughters to these sessions. They won't end up in the Paralympics, but I promise they will enjoy, and so will you. I'd like to apologize that many of our children had prior engagements going to respite centers, and some of them have been ill due to the weather conditions and can't be with us today. And before I finish, I'd like to quote Stevie Wonder. Just because a man lacks the use of his eyes does not mean he lacks vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohammed. Very inspirational. I can see a future beyond dentistry for you. Where's your dad? He's in India. All right. Anybody who doesn't know, his father runs a dental surgery on Mount Pleasant. Can I just say that the work that they've done in involving young disabled people in the gentleman's game of cricket, as he says, has opened up avenues that previously many people thought were not possible to be opened up. Given young people a new opportunity to explore what possibilities are open to them. One of them is here today, and I've been told that he's going to be the recipient of a special medal for his participation. His name is Rais Patel. So I'm going to ask Rais, I'm going to ask Nisa, the main sponsor, to come forward to do the honors and present a trophy to Rais. Rais, you want to come forward? There's a special your dad sitting here. This is Muhammad Sadiq Patel's son. Well done. Excellent. MashaAllah. It's a real pity that some of the other young people who participated were not able to join us today. We hope that Rais will be an inspiration to them and that we will have more of them joining us on this occasion. Can I now ask Abdul Rawat, the captain of the second team, to come forward and give his a brief presentation of the success of the second team. Abdul Rawat.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You'll have to bear with me. I've got a bit of a sore throat, so it's not unusual for me not to have words, but today I might struggle. As Babai said, my name is Abdul Rabat, and on behalf of the second team, I'd like to take a few moments of your time to highlight some of the facts, figures, trivia, triumphs, and howlers from the season that was 2014. To set some context, and for those of you who were in the audience last year, you will recall that we achieved promotion into Section A in the Huddersfield Central Cricket League. The task facing us was much more challenging, given that the majority of the teams in Section A were all first teams and eager to get back into their place in the Premier League. Not something which wasn't possible for us because our first team, as you'll hear later on, were already there. On paper, we were probably pre-season favourites to get relegated straight back down to Section B. And we also took a conscious decision that we would include 4 of our junior young guns in the team to accelerate their development and experience. As a captain, I'm sure you'll appreciate a lot of captains in the audience, you are desperate to hit the ground running and start with winning. Yet the figures could not have been more challenging. We started the season with straight defeats to strong opposition to Laymore A, to Edgerton and Dalton, and Bradley and Cole. And when we thought our luck was about to change, the great British weather decided to show its hand. And at that point, I suddenly started to appreciate what David Moyes must have felt at Manchester United. So I was waiting for that dreaded call from our chairman, but luckily it never came. Yet, despite these dark times, there were some glimpses of hope and notable performance, in terms of the batting from Imran Kayat in one of the matches, just missing a ton from one of our young guns here sitting in the front row and taking very good wickets in one of the games. We didn't actually win our first game until deep into May against Holbury Bridge, where a great all-round performance from Shabir Sherry, 50 with the bat and taking 3 vital wickets at the end, lifted the team's collective confidence. From that point onwards, we caught the winning bug, and with 11 straight cup and league games in the process, with some amazing performance that was celebrated. In the batting department, Ashraf Raja scoring 2 consecutive centuries and 5 half centuries throughout the season, including a quite brilliant 114 away at Berkenklip in the semi-final of the Tinker Cup during Ahmed Ramadan. In fact, Ashraf Raja finished 3rd in the batting averages for the whole league with a total of 509 runs and an average of 46.27. Centuries were also recorded by 3 other players, Nazir Patel, Maqbool Patel, and from one of our mercurial young talents, Suleiman Rawat. Actually, Suleiman Rawat and Maqbool shared a partnership in excess of 200 in one game. And on that very same day, Super Saturday we call it, Jabir Patel also got 100. It's the first time from the first team, it's the first time in Mount's history that 3 centuries were scored in one day. In the bowling department, Badru Patel, one of our new old additions, had a very good first season. The highlights being 4 wickets in the Tinker Cup semi-final that got us into the final. Bashir Bhai Sidat, a voice of calmness, continues to move the ball in the air that has bamboozled batsmen for decades. The 7 wickets against Denby Grange was the best personal bowling performance of the season. So to reflect, at the end of the season, we finished second to Netherton in the league by a mere 6 points. And when you consider the league's batting and bowling bonus prices, it's neither here nor there. And we actually finished runners-up in the 100th edition of Stinker Cup final to Woolly B. It was one that day. It was filled with drama, and we were so close to winning, so near yet so far. But some reflections for me from the season was that I'm immensely proud of our achievement. And yes, we came so close. But above all, I'm even more proud that we played the game in the right spirit, respecting the umpires and our opposition, even when we were hurting, like in the Tinker Cup final. And we didn't even pick up a league final, which is a rarity for our club, I tell you. As for me, I would like to personally thank all the players, our scorers, our volunteers, and our sponsors, and to all of you for your support. And I ask humbly for forgiveness for all my faults, howlers, and throughout the season. The season is long, full of twists and unexpected turns. So like you all, I can't wait for season 2015 to start. Jazakallah, thank you.
Thank you, Brother. Again, testimony, some of those figures that he was pointing out, he gave out. I'm sure many test teams will be very proud to try and achieve those as well. We are now going to start with the first presentation. So the presentation, the second team batting award. Can I ask Idris Rajay to come forward, please? The second team batting award goes to Ashraf Karolia. So where's Ashraf? Well done. I don't have the figures for him here. I don't know where Ashraf is. Oh, he's there. All right, I've now been given the figures for Ashraf. 2 consecutive centuries, 5 half centuries, a brilliant 114 in the semi-final, and in Ramadan, Ashraf finished the 3rd in the batting averages for the whole league with a total of 509 runs. That's an average of 46.27. Well done. Just reminds me of what I heard the other day. What's the difference between a Bangladeshi cricket batsman and Houdini? And I was told that they can get out of anything without even trying. The second award is the second team bowling prize. Only Mike understood that. Second team bowling prize. And the winner is Abdul Rawat. So, Abdul, well done. Abdul ended the season with 43 wickets in all competitions. First 5-wicket haul, 3 including 5 for 40 in the Tinker Cup, on average of 3.6 per over. Well done, Abdul. We now move on to the first team under 13s. I'm going to ask Sulaiman Mutara to come forward and give the first team under 13s performance report. Sounds like a school assembly, doesn't it? For this year. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I will be talking about the first team, the under 13s team, and our tour to Saudi Arabia in my speech. And I've only got 5 minutes to do this. Thanks to Yusuf Kayat. He doesn't want to speak, so he's told me to speak on behalf of him. Okay, for the first team, it was a strange season as around 7 players asked for a transfer request about 2 weeks before our season started. Me and Yusuf were really shocked, and we didn't know what to do. And for 1 minute, I thought, what are we going to do? And then with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we managed to get some new players in, and we continued forward. It remembered me the time when, Peterson left England, and I thought England would survive. But England are still going strong, and they just bet India in the Tri Nations. For the first team, we had, like I said, a few players that were new, so it took some time for them to gel. But as the season was going along, and we thought we were going to have a mayhem and we were going to be all over the place. But eventually the team got together, and some of the players that came in, they did absolutely fantastic and continued. The first team actually finished sixth, which was about mid-table of the team. And in the cup, we got knocked out in the semi-final on the last ball against a good team, which was Edgerton and Dalton, who actually won the cup. The key players in the batting for the first year, Mohammad Makda, Imran Rawat, and Jabir Patel. Not to forget some of the key centuries scored by Riaz Mutala, Jabir Patel, and Imran Rawat. When Riaz Mutala scored, I sent one to say thank you to Hanif Logat, who actually had a partnership with Riaz for approximately 100 runs. Now, out of the 100 runs, Hanif Logat only managed to score 1 run, and he finished, unbeaten. Then Riaz got out. Same again when we had another century, and this time it was Zakaria Basser, who scored about 4 or 5 runs with Jabir Patel, who got a century, and he scored, a good century for the team. In the bowling, the key players were Junaid Ilair, Riaz Mutala, and Jabir Patel. That was the key to our finishing mid-table for the first team. I just want to get the awards out for the first team now. For the batting award, for the first team was Jabir Patel. Tony Mubarak, can you come over and award the prize for him? Jabir Patel could make it, so we'll have the first team captain Yusuf there. So I will photograph the bowling prize would go to Riaz Mutala. Can everybody come forward? Thanks. Thank you, Tony. Now to the under-13s team. For Mount Cricket Club, we had an under-13s team after so long time. I myself was the manager of the team with the help of Mohammad Patel and Sadiq Patel, who coached the under-13s team. We had approximately 17 players. We had none of them ever played cricket before with cricket ball. After weeks of preparations, the team, we travelled to our first game at Batley CC. The first game was absolute shock to us as we got thrashed by Batley CC. And for a minute we were thinking, how come we're having a team in the 13s with these kind of players? In the coming weeks, we still haven't won any games. 4 games have gone past, and we were all scratching our heads. But Alhamdulillah, the Ramadan started, and in Ramadan we had our luck. For 4 weeks in full Ramadan, we never lost a game. And not to forget the boys we have, they were ages about 9, 10, and 11, and about half of the team were having fast for about 18 hours. So you can understand how, they were playing cricket in the, in the 18 hours of fasting they were doing. Again, the 17 players what we had, they never had anybody miss out a game. We were, we started rotating some of the players, but not one time whenever a player said they could not play. After the 4 or 5 games we were winning, we started playing more like a team, and alhamdulillah, we started to gel together. We actually lost another 2-3 towards the end, but we gave some good games to the league leaders, and overall we were really happy and satisfied with the team's performance. And like I said, they've never played with a cricket ball before. Some of the key batting performances by Rizwan Abed, Rehan Shahzad, Adam Fadia, and others all chipped in. The pick of the bowlers were Qasim Daliwala, Yusuf Patel, Mohammad Saeed Patel, Zaid Sidat, and the 9-year-old Mohammad Rawat, who actually did fantastic. I've got a couple of figures for the under 13s, which we had. We had a player called Rizwan Abed who had 2 wickets in 2 overs, and he never gave a run away. And the 9-year-old Mohammad Rawat, he took 3 wickets in 3 overs by only giving just 3 runs in them 3 overs. We finished actually 6th in the league out of the 13 teams that were in the league. I just want to call all the 17 players that that played for them. So Yusuf. So I'll call all the 17 players. Can Mark, Arthur, Tajbad, sorry. Tajbad, can you come forward, please? Okay, can I have the 13 players? Yusuf Patel, who was actually the captain of the team. Rizwan Abed, Hassan Badar, Mohammad Daliwala, Qasim Daliwala, Adam Fadia, Mohammad Dora, Mohammad Khan, Rehan Shahzad, Mohammad Mujada, Mohammad Saeed Patel, Mohammad Rabat, Zaid Sidat, Ismail Watan, Musa Ala, Abdullah Hafiji, Mohammad Rabat, Zubair Tayar, and Adam Mujada.
Can I, for those of you who don't know, Taj is Mark's colleague. He's the Yorkshire County Cricket's Development Officer for the South Asian communities, and hopefully, inshallah, he's already made his commitment, both Mark and Taj, to support the work around disability as well as the young women's cricket team that we are now trying to develop. So welcome, Taj. It's the first time he's been here, and he's Yorkshire County Cricket's base development officer for, as I say, South Asian community.
Can Bilal come forward, please? Bilal Shafayat, come forward, please. For the batting award for the under 13s went to Rehan Shahzad. And the bowling award goes to Yusuf Patel. Yusuf Patel. taken forward, please. For the under 13s and for the juniors, actually, we've got a new award starting off this season. It's proudly sponsored by the Travel Executive, and that goes to Rizwan Abed. Okay, Hanif Mike, can you come forward, please? We had a competition for the juniors this year, which was sponsored for the memorial trophy of the late Yasmin Auntie Mayet, which is the wife of Hanif Mike, who passed away. Can we have the captain for the team, Rizwan Abed, to come forward to collect the trophy? Okay, just 2 more minutes. I'll just quickly tell you about our tour to Saudi Arabia. We had 13 players went in February last year. We actually played 2 games. We played Medina Cricket Club and Halak Cricket Club in Jeddah. We lost both games, unfortunately, but the players who we played against were ex-professional players, and we never thought we would play against them. It was the first cricket team from anywhere in the world to go to tour in Saudi Arabia for 10 days. We actually had a fantastic time. We were treated like royalty by the people that invited us to play over. Alhamdulillah, they are still in touch with us. And Yusuf, who regularly goes to Saudi Arabia, he actually gets a game for one of their teams every so often. And, you know, it was really hard for us to play over there. Our field is desert, in sand, we have to play. The wicket itself wasn't actually clear, and it was very, very warm. It was unbelievable. The weather was very hectic over there for us to compete in, so that was one of the reasons why we lost the game. You can go in there. Okay. Jazakallah, that's all I had to say. But just before I finish, for 2015, just quickly, just to let you know what we're doing. We've got a first team and the second team who will be competing in Huddersfield Centre Cricket League again this year. We've actually got a third team which will be playing in the Mid Yorkshire Sunday Cricket League. We've got under 13s cricket team again. We've actually got an under 9s cricket team. We've got the boys training starting in May the 3rd, which is the first Sunday for any boys aged between 5 and 11. So if you've got any boys, then you can see me or Yusuf. We're going to have a trip to Panama in February 2016, which is actually going to be in association with our club sponsor, Mini Travel Executive Visa Bengali, and we're actually talking with the Panama Cricket Board. So if anybody has any questions regarding joining the club, then by all means, you're more than happy to play for our local club. We never say no to anybody. So come and see me or Yusuf here at the end of the presentation.
First time I heard heat exhaustion being the reason for losing a cricket game. Shame on you. Can I say, I've just been told, we have 40 youngsters who are sitting there on the left-hand side of this room who are part of a 13-week cricket course that Mount have been running for young people. They've all participated, all 40 of them, and I must say they're very well disciplined, aren't they? Give them a big round of applause. And to celebrate their participation, each one of them is going to get one of these medals. So I'm going to ask all of them to come down, and Al Mubarak and his team are going to present the medals to these young 40 people from the age of between 5 and 12. So welcome every one of you. Well done. Look at these young people, proud of their medals. Look at them, fantastic, isn't it? Well done, every one of you. These are going to be the next cricketers, not the mountain one day. One of these, more than one of these, could become a cricketer for the England cricket team that might be playing about 10 years' time. So let's encourage them, let's support them, and as I say, dig deep into your pockets. Donate as much as you can today so the Mount can go from strength to strength. I'm now going to ask one of the most important members of Mount cricket team. He's a barrister by profession, allegedly, but much more allegedly, and I reserve judgment until I hear him. He is the development officer for Mount cricket team, and his name, many of you will know, is Mohammed Sadiq Patel. So Mohammed, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Balbay. That's very kind, very generous. Assalamu alaikum and
Even talks like a barrister, doesn't he?
and good evening to you all. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I'm not going to be discourteous to the special guests, so I'm going to cut my speech because I'm not important today. These four young gentlemen are more important than me. And my speech will start with one of my favorite players of the under-13 team. I think you'll be the first to accept in terms of ability and performance. He probably wasn't the most gifted, but in terms of turning up for practice, being respectful, well-mannered, polite, courteous, he certainly was one of the outstanding members of the under-13s team. So I would be very grateful if you would kindly give a very warm and very kind of round of applause to Mohammed Zahar Khan, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Khan and I would like to tell you about my experience with the under-13s Mount cricket team. Like most boys my age, I enjoy football, but my dad, being a huge fan of the Pakistan cricket team, slowly pushed me towards his favorite sport, cricket. Anyway, I am now glad that he did. When I joined the coaching sessions, I didn't have many skills, but by turning up regularly, I learned many lessons, such as catching, release and bound throwing, wicket keeping, and field placings. But most of all, I learned to play as a team member and not just for myself. My favorite memory is when I went to play an away match wearing my brand new kit for the first time. I felt proud to be part of something. During a match or practice, we still have our due to Allah. So when it is time for namaz, we stop to say our prayers on the ground, which is an amazing experience in itself. I would like to thank our dedicated coaches for their support and hard work, and mostly for putting up with us. Hopefully we will do some great things this year and make you all proud. Finally, I would like to thank you for your attention and the committee for inviting me to speak. Jazakallah and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, that's all I can say. say. What confidence. And I'm sure quite a lot of that must be from the cricket. Well done, Mohammed Zafar Khan. Hand it back to you, sir.
I hope you become a doctor. Don't want another lawyer in this town. Right. A very famous poem was written by a gentleman called Sir Henry Newbolt. And I'm going to be asking Mohammed Durrant, Mohammed Saeed Patel, and Zaid Sida, all from the under 13s team, to read out the passages from Mr. Newbolt's poem. And I start with Mohammed Durrant.
Assalamu alaikum. There's a breathless hush in the close tonight. 10 to make and the match to win. A bumping pitch and a blinding light. An hour to play and the last man in. And it's not for the sake of a ribbon coat or the selfish hope of a season's fame. But his captain's hand on his shoulders smote. Play up, and play the game.
Next one up will be Mohammed Saeed Patel.
Assalamu alaikum. The sand of the desert is sodden red, red with the wreck of a square that broke. The Gatlings jammed and the colonel dead, and the regiment blind with dust and smoke. The river of death has brimmed his banks, and England's fire and honour a name. But the voice of a schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up, and play the game.
And we shall finish the poem with Zaid Sidat.
Assalamu alaikum. This is the word that year by year, whilst in her place the school is set, every one of her sons must hear, and none that hears it dare forget. This they all with a joyful mind bear through life like a torching flame, and falling fling to the host behind. Play up, and play the game.
How impressive these young men are, and trust me, it's not very easy to speak. I always have considerable difficulty speaking in public. Put me in a court of law and it's really quite easy. But to stand here and speak in front of so many people, it's really quite a nerve-wracking experience. So let me finish the rest of my speech. Vitae lampada is Latin for torch of life, as most of the schoolboys and young men for whom this poem was written for in 1897 would have known. At that time, the British Empire was a major global power, and Britannia really did rule the waves. Attitudes towards nationality, race, and class have changed. And reading the poem today requires a certain leap of the imagination. The function of poetry has also shifted. There was certainly more of a feeling then that poetry had an important public function, whereas today poetry more usually deals with private visions. Poems such as these were committed to memory, learnt by heart, and used as moral guides in times of difficulty. Vitae lampada is a highly purposive and moral poem. It aims to teach a moral lesson and provide a guiding principle for the conduct of life. It is possible to imagine its audience as young men educated in public schools or were needed to command or govern the British colonies. But it probably has also a wider meaning, value in tradition and personal discipline, and for the sake of society as a whole. The first stanza of the poem is set on the school cricket fields. The team is in a difficult situation, 10 to make and the match to win. And the poem suggests that learning to be a team player is better than thinking of personal gain. not for the sake of a ribboned coat. In the second stanza, these men who may have been boys playing cricket are now in a foreign land and facing even a more difficult situation. The Gatlin's jammed and the colonel dead. In the bitter reality of the battlefield, the poet tells that the principles of selflessness learned on the school cricket pitch still hold good, but the voice of the schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up, and play the game. The final stanza makes a plea for the values of continuity and tradition and discipline learned at school to be handed down from one generation to the other, and falling fling to the host behind. In the modern individualistic world, where social customs and traditions have had to change rapidly as a consequence of technological change, play up and play the game may seem a rather quaint and old-fashioned moral. At Mount Cricket Club, we believe in values such as courage, determination, discipline, temperament. These are more important than winning. Our ethos is really quite simple. Mr. Khan, Mr. Dorat, Mr. Patel, Mr. Sidat have, and today in particular, shown determination, courage, discipline, temperament. And this is what we wish to nurture in the future for all our youngsters. We have no doubt that our juniors will become accomplished citizens and serve their community well. Since 2013, our juniors program has flourished. This year, we shall have an under-9s and under-13 boys team playing league cricket. Last year, we started our disability project, and this year will continue. This year, our girls' cricket team, our girls' cricket project will start. It is my hope that by 2016, disabled and a girls' cricket team playing league cricket. If I can return to our ethos, the foundations upon which this particular club was founded, determination, courage, discipline, temperament. This year, our boys and girls and disabled boys and girls will take part in activities with the Scouts, and also will be working in partnership with Batley High School, where they will start their Youth Remembrance Award. Words cannot alone meet the needs of our club and our community. These needs will and can only be met if we act boldly in the years ahead. And we must understand the challenges that face us all, because if we don't, then we will be hurt. Peter O'Toole, the famous actor, if you remember the film Lawrence of Arabia, said, "The only thing I've ever been interested in teaching anyone in life is cricket." We are grateful to all the parents who allow their children to learn this beautiful game with us. We are grateful to our sponsors who have in very hard times given us financial support, and in particular, Mini Travel of Batley. I would like to thank Mr. Arthur from Yorkshire County Cricket Club. We hope that he will take a personal and keen interest in the development of our youngsters programme. I would also like to thank Mr. Wood MP for his wonderful support, and we hope that Mrs. Cox will continue supporting the club in the same way. I would like to thank Mr. Mubarak for broadcasting this particular event, and we hope that all the sisters at home and all our friends abroad and overseas will be enjoying this particular event. I'd like to give a very special thank you to Mr. Fletcher from Kirklees Council. Mr. Fletcher gave us the keys to the ground, and we should always be grateful to him. I would like to finish by thanking all of you for attending, and in particular, Mr. Bunner. Yeah? Each and every year, there's lots of appreciation awards that are given out, but every single year he's here, he very little notice prepares his plan, and most eloquently and most articulately and brilliantly hosts this particular event. I've had the privilege of doing a couple of sessions for hosting our events, and trust me, it's very, very difficult. And I hope that we can all give Mr. Banner a warm round of applause. But there's two people that I would like to thank. every club and every community needs heroes. And my heroes and the club's heroes are Yusuf Bhai Kaya. You know, stand up so everyone can see you, please. This is the chap that actually does all the day-to-day running around for Mount Cricket Club. And trust me, if this gentleman wasn't here, then we wouldn't be having a club. And the other person I'd like to thank is obviously Councillor Hanif Maib. Yeah? I've gone to him with the disability project. He didn't say no. I went to him for the juniors to play league cricket. He didn't say no. This year, the twist is I'm a little bit for the girls. He did not say no. And he's very innovative, and we are very fortunate to have such a wonderful person in our community, more importantly, running this cricket club. So thank you, Hanif. And I thank all the coaches and the volunteers. We are only as good as we really, with your love and your support and care. If you didn't turn up every Sunday morning and helped us, then we really wouldn't be, we wouldn't really be able to do all these wonderful projects and activities. So we're really quite grateful to all our volunteers, in particular Hassan Bayford. Yeah, he's always first at the ground, and he's always the last person to leave. On behalf of Mountain Cricket Club, I'm kindly asking you for your help and your prayers. I'm going to finish off with a little bit of classical Greek, and I've translated it for you. Yeah? We all have an equal responsibility. And in the words of the great Greek historian Xenophon, this is what our shared responsibility should be: to turn obstacles into opportunity, transform fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening and have a safe journey home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed Sadiq. Now I have no alleged barrister speaker. He has proved himself more than eloquently that he is a barrister, lawyer, and a speaker. As he has mentioned, I've just been handed a sheet of with names on it. As he says, there are many, many people who have been stalwarts, the foundations of this club over the last few years, and we would like to recognize all of them for their support, their continued dedication and commitment to making sure this club runs effectively, efficiently, and that particularly the young people get an opportunity to have a taste of cricket, a wonderful game that it is. As all of you know, I never played it. As testament to that is the multiple fold of muscle I have over my stomach. Can I ask Hanif Maib to come forward, please? And can I ask the following people to come forward? Yusuf Fadia, Arshad Patel, Mohammad Patel Rawat. These are people who have been extremely valuable, helpful, supportive in making sure that this cricket team functions effectively and efficiently. Yusuf Fadia, Arshad Patel, Mohammad Patel, Ahmad Ali Luna, and Sulaiman Rawat. I was going to have a short commercial break, but Mohammed Sadiq has done it. As you can see, all the jackets that people are wearing are again thanks to Nisa Bangali of Mini Travel, executive coach provider, who has committed quite a few £100, I've been told, to support this group, this Mount Cricket Club. Thank you again, once again. Can I ask Ibrahim Makta and Abdul Rahman Bulbulia, the two umpires, the people who keep all the scores, making sure that everything is accurately recorded, to come forward. These are the two umpires who do an extremely sterling job. Well done. Don't go away. I've been told that Ibrahim Bhai Makra has never missed a game in umpiring. Well done, Ibrahim Bhai. Thank you very much. can I now ask Uzair Patel and Rizwan Abid to come forward? These are the scorers, the people who make sure that every ball, every batsman runs, every bowler's ball, wickets, etc., faults or no faults are recorded for posterity. So these two are some of the most important people in the game of cricket. So Uzair Patel and Rizwan Abid.
Hey, which is Rizwan?
Rizwan, is this your third trophy? Are you going to come in and big enough for that? You're going to have to go to Al Murad, are you? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, anybody. I am now going to ask somebody to come forward who in this community doesn't need an introduction. A man every one of us in this room and those who may be watching at home knows about his dedication, his commitment, and his total support of Mark Cricket Club, as Hanifa said, right from the beginning. A man who has been a great friend to this community, particularly in those very sad days when two of our citizens were brutally murdered in the riots in India. He fought extremely hard to try and get social justice and retribution for those people who were butchered in the way that they were. He continues to campaign for an honest response from the Indian government to how those people were murdered and what happened to them. Much more importantly, he's been a friend of mine for many years, as you know. And I was really sad to hear that after so many years of dedicated service as a parliamentarian, at a very young, tender age, although he tells me he is much older than he looks, and I've been told that every poster and picture that has been issued about him has not been photoshopped, that he has decided that he wants to now take it easy, enjoy life, and take some wonderful time out. Hopefully he's going to write a book, his memoirs of Battle in Dewsbury. Former councillor, our current MP, Mike Wood. He needs to stand up and remember what commitment this man has. Give him a big, big round of applause.
Well, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I'm astounded by that introduction because Iqbal normally says, here's somebody who needs no introduction, Mike Wood, and then you're on. So it's quite a change to have that kind of fulsome introduction. I prefer the normal kind, I have to say, really. But I'm very grateful for the applause because it's not always, as a politician, of course, that you get applause. As I think I've probably told you before, I've got to say, I'm retelling my anecdotes, but I went in the last election to a meeting in Bristol. This young man stood at the door and he said, "You're Mike Wood." I said, "I am." He said, "You're rubbish." "You see her over there, that's my sister, and she thinks you're rubbish as well." I said, "Hang on, lad, I haven't got on the stage yet. I'm a politician, I'm used to being booed off. Booed on, you're welcome to have a round of applause before a few words. And it is a very few words. I'm here really to say, as I always do, this is my 20th year, thank you so much to everybody concerned with Mount Cricket Club for everything you have been to this community, to this town for 40 years and more, and for all you continue to do for the young people of this community. Crucially important, and none of us want you to forget how grateful we are for the work you do. Illustrated tonight by the list of teams, by this vast array of youngsters, and for seeing a club that continues to go forward into sport for people suffering disabilities, into sport now for girls and young women, and it's indicative of the nature of Mount, which is the very nature of Mount, that it doesn't stand still, it continues to move forward, and I am always grateful for the invitation to come and be with you, particularly tonight, because it is, I say, my 20th such meeting with you and my last in my present position as Member of Parliament for Batley and Spen. I'm absolutely honoured and humbled to have held this job, to be charged with representing the people of Batley and Spen in Parliament previously, in Kirklees Council. And I just wanted to be here really to say a very big thank you to all of you for all the help and support you've given to me over these 20 years. I'm eternally grateful, and thank you very much indeed. I did just want to say one word about Fareed Garolia, because it wouldn't be right, would it, to allow this evening, he's already been mentioned, he's still with us, isn't he? This was a man who summed up what Mount was about playing cricket for the spirit of the game, playing by the rules, not just to win, but wanting to win, wanting good teams, wanting young people to play cricket properly and well, but not losing sight of the fact that there were other things which were and are more important about sport than just winning. And I feel an enormous loss. I don't miss his jokes, I have to say. Has to be said, although I think that Iqbal is, when I heard his joke earlier in the evening, the reason I was so amused was I thought, well, you know, Fareed lives really. But, you know, other than his jokes, which were awful, weren't they? Let's be honest. His jokes were awful, but nonetheless, it was the spirit of the man. It was the humour that we miss, and we shall miss, I think all the time. Now, I now have a quite important task, which is to tell you that Bryn Sutcliffe is going to appear in front of me very soon, I understand, and to make, on behalf again of Mini Travel Limited, a number of awards and presentations to a whole series of people who have been central to this club over the last 40 years. So Bryn, if you'd like to come forward. Or you both come forward. There's two Bryns, I see. This is Bryn and Zuba. Right, okay. And the first award is to Hanif Mayat, who has been chair of this club for 38 years. Hanif. Okay, well done. And Yusuf Kayat, Vice Chair for 26 years, working the club. Well done, Yusuf. Nazir Lorgat, who's the present treasurer and has worked for the club for 24 years. Are you here, Nazir? Obviously had a better offer for the evening. Solomon Matala, the secretary, worked for the club for 23 years. And somebody that we now know has not just worked for the club for 26 years, is the development officer, but is fluent in ancient Greek and Latin, Mohammed Sadiq Patel. And now our groundsman and caretaker for over 33 years, Hassan Fadia. Who's busy preparing the pitch for next season. Nisar Bangali, club sponsor. And last but not least, MC for the club for 20 years, Iqbal Bana OBE.
Thank you. Can I say this is a totally unexpected surprise? Thank you very much. I said more than 20 years on it, but it feels like I've been doing it just as long as you have. From the old hall in Denison Street. I've been told that there is one more to be handed out. And there's a lot more I could have said about Mike, about his role around the war, Palestine, Gaza, Afghanistan, everything. But we'll be here for hours. But Mike, in appreciation of your support over 20 years, may this not be your last event that you attend. You may not come here as an MP, but you certainly are more than welcome. We expect you to attend as a friend next year and many more years to come. Brothers and sisters, I give you Mike Wood. I've been told Hassan Fadia is here, so can we ask Hassan to come forward as well? I'm not sure how many people have heard of Dave Allen. I remember one of his jokes. You wake up by the clock, you go to work by the clock, you have your break by the clock, you have your lunch break by the clock, you have your afternoon tea break by the clock, you finish your work by the clock, you go home by the clock, you go to bed by the clock. What the hell do they give you when you retire? A clock. We are in a transitional stage, as they say, from somebody who has served us extremely well, as all of us know, to somebody, inshallah, who's going to serve us equally as well and will put Batley on the map, more so than it already has been. Can I ask? Can I ask our next Member of Parliament? I'm sure many of you will have met her, and everyone who has met her has fallen in love with her, just like others. Jo Cox.
Thank you, Alex. What a lovely thing to say. I am really not going to speak for long because my voice is about to disappear, but also I can hear many, many hungry stomachs out there. I just wanted to say two things. The first thing was that I'm a very keen sportswoman myself, and it was a real honour for Brendan, my husband, and I to come to the Mount Cricket Club fun day in the summer. And you know, it didn't take very much to talk to the people there and enjoy the atmosphere to realise that there's something very, very special about Mount Cricket Club. Not least the leadership from Hanif and many others, but the people involved. And the thing I've always judged about sporting communities and clubs is not just the sporting prowess, which is important, but it's about so much more. It's about the sense of team, the enjoyment that the kids get, the smiles on their faces, and also what a club gives back to the community. I had quite a bit of time to myself on the fun day because my husband Brendan was very firmly placed by the barbecue, which the team were cooking amazing food from, and my two children, I couldn't get off the bouncy castle. So I had 20 minutes to just look around and chat to people and soak in the atmosphere, and very is obvious that this is a very special club, and I'm very, very honoured that as a local girl brought up in Batley and Hetland like that, hopefully, inshallah, I'll be able to continue the service that Mike has given and support this club in all of its endeavours. This has been a big year for the club, and I know there are many more big years to come ahead, and hopefully I'll be here in 20 years. We'll have double the size of people, we'll have many more community initiatives, not just women's sport and disabled kids sport, but many more thriving projects that I would love to back as your Member of Parliament. Thank you very much, and it's a real honour to be here.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. I've been told that we have some presentations for both Joe and Mark's good lady. Something to take away from this evening. Most of us will be taking away some wonderful food, I hope. Amazing food. Debbie Arthur is Chief Exec's partner, wife, who's also a teacher, a very laudable profession, working in Nottingham. Welcome. Thank you. No local cricketing organisation or sports entity can function without the support of the local authority. As we know, local authorities find it increasingly more difficult to meet the needs of the community, but Kirklees Council, for all their value, they have been extremely supportive. Today we have from Kirklees Council, John Fletcher, who's part of the street scene team, used to be leisure services, it was easier to say. John, the floor is all yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm told this is nearly the end, so I shall make it fairly short. As has been said, I can hear the sound that starts rumbling from here. It sounds like distant thunder. So I think it's something like 30 years ago I first found that wonderful place called Mount Cricket Club, nestling in Hurstland Park, spearheaded by two rather wonderful gentlemen. Fareed, of course, that we've heard a lot about, and of course, Hanif. These were two adopted sons of Yorkshiremen, of Yorkshire, who I think actually Fareed thought he was a Yorkshireman, I'm sure he was. He had the most wonderful voice, the most wonderful smile, and they had a marvellous way of getting me to do absolutely anything he wanted me to do. That wanted me to do involved, trying to improve the facilities for Mount Cricket Club, and eventually led, I think, through the support of Hanif and his colleagues on the council, to housing or finding a home at Staincliffe, which I think will suit Mount for a very, very long time. I hope that the spirit of Fareed will continue to drive this club forward. It is a wonderful community. It is a marvellous thing that you do. To see young people coming into sport, into something that is so beneficial to their health, their well-being and their spirit is something really, really marvellous. And it is an absolute pleasure, as far as a council employee is concerned, to even be a small part of something as big as that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, John. I've been told that you are also the recipient of this Dave Allen clock. But very worthy. I've just been looking at this. It actually matches the mantelpiece that I have. So this is going to be something. I'm not sure about the mini travel bit, but I think it's a good gesture there. Thank you very much to Mark and Ibai and all the colleagues there. I'm now going to call our next speaker, the penultimate speaker. Can I ask Dara Khamoshi ho, please? I have not had the pleasure of meeting him before, but he has a reputation as being one of the best potential and been told a first-class cricketer that is going to go places. His name is Bilal Shifayat. He was the youngest first-class cricketer player and joined Nottinghamshire some years ago when Mark, I believe, was part of the Nottinghamshire setup. He has a long tradition of history, of achievements, which I'm not going to read, but I'm sure some of you who know him well will understand, will know better about his history of cricket than I do. I'm going to now ask Bilal Shifayat to say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
I feel slightly more confident this year round. It is my second event that I've come to in Batley, and it's just really to echo the spirit that is in this town. All the main speakers and the more important speakers I've definitely identified the kind of spirit, tradition, culture, love, discipline that comes from this town, and I can only share my experience. Coming the first time I did, I think it was 5 years ago, and I certainly felt that, and it looks like the club has really developed. I've been away from professional cricket for 2 years now. After a 12-year, very young 12 years, I had in the game. Mark was at Nottinghamshire at the time. If I remember correctly, Mark might have, I think, gave me my Sport England aid at the National Space Centre in Leicester. It was, it felt like it was yesterday, but I'm a little bit older than 15 now. So yeah, it's look, I mean, now it's a transition into club cricket. Once you finish a professional sport, a lot of people decide in what they want to do. And at 30 now, I admit my age, it's a really I'm at a checkpoint, which direction to take. And I've actually headed back to the club that I started off at in Nottingham, known as the West Indian Cavaliers. The name says it all. They have passion, determination, everything it takes to build a club up. We are not quite at the stage that Mount Cricket Club is at. Admittedly, I can say that hands up, to be fair. There's a lot of people that you see here today that are getting their awards, or being thanked for all the work that they've put in. It certainly is the people, the community, and dedicated, honest individuals that create that. And you're very, very fortunate to have that here. To see 40 children lined up from a 16-week course set up by the club is a great achievement. Hopefully in the Midlands where we're based, we're slightly slower on certain things, and these are the kind of things that I'll certainly be taking back. We're trying to implement over there. You do have a great setup here, a great town here. So I just want to say a big, big thank you. Yusuf Bhai, I think, invited me again today. Everybody else, it's good to see you all. Again, really, my jacket fitted slightly better when I came last time. So thank you very much and have a great evening.
Thank you, Bilal, and all the power to you. Now I'm going to ask our final speaker. दोस्तों से गुजारिश है जरा खामोशी से सुने please. He is the chief executive of Yorkshire County Cricket, a man who wields enormous power on cricket in this county. And I've just told him that I'm a passionate supporter of Lancashire Cricket Club. And for those of you who care, as I normally ask our young people, the footballers of Manchester United. So I'm absolutely surprised when I was becoming DL in the county of West Yorkshire. Colleagues, friends, I ask you to give a big round of applause to Mark Arthur, Chief Executive of Yorkshire County Cricket.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman Hanif. Just under 2 years ago, I was appointed as Chief Executive of the biggest and best cricket club in the world, and it was a very humbling experience. But I was also aware, coming into Yorkshire, which has some 740 cricket clubs with over 110,000 adults playing every weekend, and 503 clubs with junior sections, that there was something missing. And I think it was something that was missing from the county cricket club's perspective. I felt that the club over the years had probably become too Leeds-centric and inwardly looking. And so I made it my task and that of my colleagues to integrate ourselves into the community of Yorkshire. And some 14 months ago, I received a phone call from a very persuasive gentleman called Mohammed Sadiq Patel, who actually invited me to this event last year. And it took quite some time to convince him that I actually had another commitment on that night. But I did promise to come down to your cricket club last summer and to see the activities that were taking place, in particular with the junior section. I was really impressed by what I saw and also the vision that you have for the club. And recently, Sadiq has outlined your determination to have a disability section within the club and also to develop the first girls in Yorkshire. My colleague Taj, who you saw earlier, and I will do everything that we can to help support that vision. As I said, we've got over 740 clubs in Yorkshire and we're trying to get round to all of them. But this is my second visit to Mount Cricket Club, and along with my colleague at the MCC, we will be back next summer. But in the meantime, we will offer you all the support that we can to develop a girls section, and I know that's not going to be easy, and also a disability section. Because one of our other challenges in the area is to regenerate Bradford Park Avenue. And part of the vision that we have for Bradford Park Avenue is to make it an international cricket ground for disability cricket. And indeed, we hope that we will also attract international girls cricket to Bradford Park Avenue in the future. So the role that the Mount Cricket Club have to play in our vision is a very big one. And we will only develop our long-term international ambitions by working hard at grassroots. Sadiq also told me that your presentation evening will be something that I'd never visited before, and he's absolutely right. I cannot believe the largesse of such a small cricket club. It's incredible what you've achieved to date. With all the youngsters lined up tonight, I sincerely believe that you will become one of the larger cricket clubs in West Yorkshire in the next 20 years. In 2016, we launched a new pyramid system for Yorkshire cricket, whereby there will be 4 Premier Leagues and there'll be a playoff system with the finalists being taken over to Abu Dhabi to see the true champions of Yorkshire. But part of that pyramid system will give ambitious clubs such as yourselves the opportunity to get to the very top. And I hope one day that you achieve that. Thank you very much for inviting my wife and I here tonight, and also to invite Taj, who hopefully you will see an awful lot more of in the future. Good luck for 2015. I hope to come back again next year.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you indeed. And we hope to see you next year as well. Can I also say Yorkshire champions this year of the county cricket for England? That is a trophy. So can we say thank you to Yorkshire Cricket for achieving this fantastic achievement, being the county champions for England, and for Mark for bringing the trophy. If you've never seen what the county championship trophy looks like, that's the one. And Mark and his colleague Taz have brought it along today. Thank you very much. Can I also, I know we said that we've not been very successful recently in cricket on an international level, but England are playing in the Tri-Nations Cup final with Australia. So can we also today send out the very best wishes to the England cricket team in Australia in the final, and let's hope that they beat the Aussies in that country in their own day. I have a final trophy that needs to be presented, and that goes to Mark for his support, his commitment, his dedication to giving support to small clubs like Mount Cricket Club. And we hope that this is a drive for you to give even more support in the future. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Sorry, Mark, stay there. I'm forgetting myself at the moment. We have 3 awards to do. One is the Dr. Makbul Mutawalli Trophy for the Player of the Year, and the winner is Ashraf Karolia. We'll ask Mark to present that, please. Well, Ashraf. The Mini Travel Young Player of the Year Award. Oh, I've still got it on my list. Okay. But I also, his name has been mentioned many a time. We've missed him since last year. If you remember, he was here in his wheelchair with an oxygen mask trying to entertain us, and sadly we lost him over the year. In memory of Farid, the most broad accent of a Yorkshire accent that I've ever heard in my life. Even more broader than the people in Barnsley and Doncaster speak, in a way that I don't think anybody else could. And although, as Mike says, some of his jokes we found sometimes difficult to understand, just as good as my jokes, Mount have created this trophy. This trophy is in memory of Farid Bhai. It is going to be competed between the first and second team every year, and whichever team wins is going to be the proud recipient of the Farid Karolia Trophy. And we thank you all for supporting this, and may Allah bless Farid Bhai in giving the highest place in Jannah for all his efforts, not just for cricket, but he was a deeply religious man as well. And his family, may they be given somewhere as well. Now comes the happy bit, khana, the food. But before we conclude, can I just say a few words of thanks to all our guests, to the workers, the Mount Cricket team. When you go downstairs, you'll see how hard they've been working. For all of you for being so patient and listening so kindly. We're now grooming, hopefully, other people to do this role. So you might see me and Mike sitting over there next year, rather than the 2 of us sitting over here. So hopefully from next year, you will have a refreshed, new person taking on the role of Master of Ceremonies. But can I say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure this evening, and may Allah be shine on every one of you. Before we finish, I'm going to ask Umar Farooq to lead us into a prayer to end the session this evening. Jazakumullah.
Everybody please pray at the Rishon, please.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير برحمتك يا أرحم
Thank you very much.